even in the meditation is a very interesting exploring. Is the meditative that you don't have a desire to actually want what type of mind states.
That was very important. If there is still a mind that want this type of mind state, that is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
mistake mind.
You don't
That
have
is the
that type of
egoic
mind.
mind.
It just flow with the you
That's
can
why
understand
I
it
always
and
say, don't
mm,
try to know.
correct.
Don't try to know. Just let things
Yes.
be and just silent. Stabilize it. Otherwise, that mundane mind will come back through the back door somehow without you knowing it. And you
Yes.
think that is Dhamma, but that is actually the subtle conscious mind that still manifests.
Yeah.
So don't try to know and don't try to develop the knowledge of it. But
Mm,
but after you have really stabilized the mindfulness and the awareness, then the
mm,
wisdom and the understanding slowly, then something will manifest. Then when it manifests out of the meditation, like Alicia, then only
mm,
you reflect, you contemplate, then the understanding will suddenly like awaken. Yeah. That is how it's supposed to be. But a lot of people are too keen to know. That's why during the meditation, that subtle conscious mind is still lingering behind. Is this what Brother Teo say? Is this what the thing supposed to be? Then is this how the mind supposed to transform? Is this what stability of sati is? And all? Then you get more interested in the knowledge, in the words. Then, like Alicia earlier mentioned, you have that conditioning that arise without you knowing it, that you are looking for things, for experience, for mind state, for transformation. That one is still the conscious mind behind. So when you meditate, don't try to know. Don't try to do even anything. Just let the awareness nature stabilize. Then let the daily mindfulness stabilize. And the understanding, I repeat, the
mm,
understanding will come by itself. No need to look for it.
yeah.
That nature will see all this subtle manifestation of the conscious mind, the egoic mind. Then one day it will have the understanding, hey, how come suddenly that nature become like that? Like Alicia went through. It's just witnessing. No word, nothing. Then that thing just suddenly trigger the awakening. Uh, But you need condition. All this need condition. It cannot just happen by itself. There
Mm,
are affinity, causes and condition. That's why we must cultivate affinity with great being, request their blessing, protection, and guidance. Yeah. So all this will help. Then your faith has to be very strong. Saddha, virya, very strong, very stable. Then diligently cultivate. Just do the religious routine, everything, meditate, silent, until that thing become very stable. And from there, something will happen. The condition will manifest. Then you will go through that transformation. Then your nature will have joy and understanding. It's just like how you actually went through the initial stage. Initial stage, you were trapped at the knowledge, at the conditioning. That's why you always like want to explain in such a way, like thinking you know, but that is still knowledge. That's why I always say at that time, it's still the thought, it's still until later on, when you know what sati is, then you become different. And then when you become different and when you share and report, that time I rejoice. That's why I say sadhu to you. And it's good that you have developed the understanding and transformation, but you are now at the stage where the subtle conscious mind is still at the back, moving. It's not really gone, it's still there.
mm,
But continue to be patient, silent, don't try to know, just do. Always remember this word, don't try to know, just allow the meditation to be. Then the other one is don't try to do anything. Don't try to know and don't try to do anything. The second one is more difficult. Don't try to do anything is actually deeper than don't try to know. Don't try to know means don't arise a thought unnecessarily. Don't go and do all those whatever so-called wanting to know in the name of reflection and contemplation, then trying to link the mind. All this. So that part is more easy. I think don't try to know, you have actually progressed.
Roberto,
Yes.
because I see sometimes these habitual tendencies,
You will come back on.
you will come back because you
Yeah.
know why? Because like for instance, we do chanting lessons, mata, right?
Correct.
So we are actually initially our practice is more on concentration.
Correct.
So you see now, even though I have awareness, all right, but it's quite easier for me to detect during my daily mindfulness. That one is faster. But when I go for my meditations,
the habitual doing come back.
It will come back. It will come back. But luckily, because through listening to your teachings, all that, I have more alert towards it.
You are more aware. Then you should relax into it. Relax into it. Don't continue with that chanting.
So when I come to
the
that
chanting
stage,
want to arise. You listen. The chanting want to arise. Let it arise, but use the awareness to be with it. Understand? No?
Yeah.
You don't go and chant anymore.
Correct. Because nowadays
is the doing already. You have to reach the stage where the chanting arises by itself, then the awareness is with the chanting.
Yeah.
That is the true art. Once you reach that, you will progress, you will break free. That's why don't try to know, I think you can. Then the habitual tendency of doing is the one that is still trapping you, the subtle conscious mind. So this don't try to do that one, you need to develop more and more understanding. That's why the first part, you have already developed very good stability. Don't try to know. I think that one you know. You are not trapped in the olden way already. But don't try to do that one, very difficult. Because a lot of people still have the habitual tendency of what meditation is. They must do something in order to meditate. Don't try to do is the difficult one. Because who is doing? The thought is doing. The thought create activity, movement. That's why I say the subtle conscious mind behind is still wanting to do. Although it has loses that ability to wanting to know. Wanting to know that one can break free. Quite a lot of people can break free. But then after they don't want to know, they cannot don't want to do, because to them, the conditioning from the habitual tendency of meditation is, I am not meditating if I'm not doing anything. But the real awareness-based meditation is to be aware and don't do anything.
Yes.
Awareness has to be, like you came to know, specific phenomenal awareness. Means whatever awareness that arises, you have to maintain the stability until it's very stable. Then the phenomenal that move, your awareness is with it. The chanting that arises, your awareness is with it. Do that. That is the second phase. When you are with a specific phenomenal awareness, you are not doing anything. But the awareness and the phenomenal move as one. That one will stabilize your silent mind. That one will let you transform and penetrate to understand what is. Don't try to do. Don't try to know is relatively easy. We have no more thought, no more curious mind, no more of this so-called inquiry or what during meditation. Then you can actually stop all the trying to know. But don't try to do that one is the difficult one. That's why that one needs stability of mindfulness to do the specific phenomenal awareness until that nature stabilizes. Then suddenly, because you do the specific phenomenal awareness, you can be mindful throughout the day until very stable. Then you realize that mindfulness becomes so refined, it can see the movement of the subtle conscious mind behind that wants to know the subtle intention, the subtle movement, the very subtle one. That one need mindfulness at the level of refinement, which is very much higher than normal mindfulness. That one, your mind and the phenomenon has to be completely silent and aware. Like you say, you know there is still some chattering or some what they call mundane activity behind the mindfulness. There is not a completely silent. That one is good. You can be aware of that. Then just do. Don't try to know. Just do until that thing becomes very stable. Until the awareness and the phenomenon move as one. Everything is like it means the mind has entered sati. Then you become very different throughout the day. Your daily mindfulness is like you are throughout the day aware, mindful. Then you keep on seeing phenomena. Means the awareness and the phenomena move as one. It is no more like normal human mind that is latching onto thing anymore. It's no more the conscious mind, conscious, aware, and think. Cannot really.
Yes.
Aware, aware, aware. Then when you want to understand, when you want to reflect, contemplate, when you need to live life, you need to arise. Then only you arise. And that is the stage of stability that you need. Then most of the time you are silent, quiet, with specific phenomenal awareness. That is like that nature is aware and just the whole thing just move on its own. That's why my nature can see all the movement and the activity, but this one is still inside that nature. But that one, most people cannot do until their mundane mind collapse. So for you all, the mundane mind hasn't collapsed. It's actually easier to do the daily mindfulness, I realize. But that time, my daily mindfulness was so stable. Then later on, the mundane mind collapsed. I like no mind, you know. Completely no mind. You know. Then nothing to be aware because that gross mundane consciousness collapse. Then the supramundane, which is very fine, that one even more difficult to be aware. But then I realized no need to do already. Because during that time, that nature shine forth. Throughout the day, 24 hours, my nature is with me. Because I don't have the mundane mind, aggregate, the grasping aggregate, to cloud my nature anymore. No more. The feeling aggregate is pure feeling because of the wisdom. Then the perception is pure perception. It cannot be from the conditioning from the brain, the memory, the views, opinion, no more. The belief system, all no more. It's just pure aggregate. Then the thinking is pure thinking. When it need to understand, it arises. When it doesn't need to understand, it does not arise. That's why it's very different. So all this, hopefully, you listen to today's sharing again, it will help you to move beyond a stage where you are trapped in the subtle conscious activity behind your mind.
Thank you, Raja.
Yeah, sadhu.
Yeah.